This is the Pound for Pound Boxing Show. I'm Jermaine, joined alongside me is Freddie Warren and Kerim Agius. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
No problem, Jermaine. All good. Thanks for having us on.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. First, I want to ask you guys, and how have you guys been coping through, obviously, the new restrictions now, the lockdown? Obviously, for you, Kerim, how's it been? Obviously, training been a bit different. How you been adjusting to that?
It's been a bit hard. Been training indoors. It's just you can't really go out at the moment and do what you want to do. You can't go to certain gyms, and for myself, go out and actually go and train with the lads now as a pro. It's a bit hard, so I've just been training indoors, ticking over, keeping focused on what I want to do in 2021 and for like the years going on now. So it's this year's going to be a big year, and I've just been basically cracking on with the training indoors, keeping it hard as usual, and taking no easy routes.
Brilliant here. And Freddie, obviously, it's been a bit hard now. Obviously, how's it been trying to put fights together for your fighters and stuff like that for this year?
It's been a difficult year for us. Most of all the fighters. For us, it's been hard working, trying to get our fighters out. We had one of our fighters actually ill. Luckily, just before COVID struck, he got out, and then with our small fighters, luckily we have a couple fighters signed with Frank Warren, Casey and Masood were supposed to fight in November, and then both tested positive for COVID, so both pullouts. And then luckily we had Robert Duran Jr. in Mexico, so some success, but some unfortunate pullouts. But we've been working really hard in the background, all of us, all the team, Alfie, Bobby, Sonny, Alfie, my dad and that. And we're going to have a massive year this year. We've got loads of things to be announced. And one of them was signing Kerim the other day, which is a big announcement for us.
Now you got to that, I was like, how did that materialize? How did the signing materialize?
So me and our team member Sonny Donnelly, we'll be working with Kerim, looking after him, organising the fights and that with Alfie. Sonny and Kerim are actual pals. Sonny put him towards us and said, "We need to sign this kid. Great amateur, knockout power for his weight is unbelievable." We had a look at him, and yeah, it was all on board. Sonny set the meeting up with Kerim. We all met Kerim, and Kerim was happy with us. We're happy with Kerim. We can't wait to start the year off.
Wow, that's a great story to hear. I never would have known that if you didn't have this interview. Kerim, for boxer fans who don't know about you, tell us a bit about you and your amateur background as well.
52 amateur bouts. Can't really remember the actual record. It's about 40 wins and like 12 losses, I think. And I've had a junior national title. Got to the national finals of the youth APAs. Come up short against a very good kid who's pro now in Ibrahim Nadeem. And then I had a massive knockout as one of my first senior fights with Jack England, who just come off being in the elites. And I knocked him out with the first punch I landed, and that was at lightweight, and I fight at flyweight. So I carried my power through all the weights, basically. And I had quite a good amateur career, boxing since 2009. And just can't wait to get the pro ranks going, to be honest. Like, get those little weight ounce gloves on and let everyone taste the leather.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen footage of that knockout. Obviously, it's done around. It's done around. It's done around. It's gone viral. But absolutely fantastic knockout. When I saw you land it, I was like, wow, flush. And just put him down and it's out cold. Obviously, he did with the first punch as well, which was like, fuck, I have no words for that. Obviously, it's just explosive. So is that what you carry? You carry, obviously, a lot of punching power in your punches. Is that what you like to showcase when you...
Dad, old man's strength, basically.
Got me and 10 kilo overweight as well.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I walk about. I'm like 54 kilos now. So, and I thought he come in at 61 kilos. I weighed in on the scales at 58.5, a little bit higher than that. And that's me eating. So when I got off the scales, to be honest, I went to the toilets and I couldn't hold in all that food because I'd been eating and the nerves kicking, obviously. So I went to the toilet and then he went off and ate. So he come into the ring a little bit more heavier and he had about 3-4 hours to hydrate. And he come in the ring and he looked massive. And when he first come out and he hit me, I thought, God, like you could definitely feel the weight. But I've always been able to take a shot. So I just sat back off him, stayed relaxed and did a cracker and it sent me viral. So
sure did. I want to obviously ask you. Obviously, you said you can fight out 54. Well, you can also fight out flyweight as well. What's you super flyweight? What do you feel most comfortable at? Bantamweight or super flyweight?
To be honest, I feel comfortable more at super fly, bantam, all the weights I feel comfortable at because as an amateur, that's what you end up doing. You end up taking up these last minute fights and you fight at a higher weight or you fight at a different weight because things are changing with boys. It's what happens when you get to a certain level in amateurs. It's hard to get you a little gym bout or something. So then you're waiting only for championships. So I would take up fights higher than what I would actually be, but I've always been good at putting weight on and taking it down. So I've never struggled with weight. So I went from doing the 60 kilos. I went into the box cup 2 weeks later and I weighed 54 kilos 2 weeks later in the box cup. So it was mad. So I'm comfortable at any weight, but for the first part of my career, it'll be at Superfly. And then we'll dominate the super flyweight division and then go up to bantamweight and continue onwards.
Yeah,
so obviously, plan anyway.
Obviously, you mentioned the Box Cup. That's quite a prestigious amateur competition. I know a few people have gone on to win it. How was that boxing in that Box Cup? And obviously, I think you won bronze. Was that correct? Box Cup.
I got bronze. First day, I boxed against a quite messy fighter. I can't remember where he's from. Borough or something like that. And I remember he came in, first thing he done was put his head straight into me. And where you ain't got no head, guys, you clash straight away. So all my face started marking up. He bruised all my nose. All my eye was swollen up from him bringing the head in. But I gave him a can each round. It was quite a right performance. Then a day later, I boxed the world number 5 from Ireland. And to be honest, I should have won it. And they stole off me by 1 point and split. And it was a bit gutting. Because I've known I won. Even he see it in his face. You can see by his movement in his body, his gesture. I was more than happy with my performance. I barely got touched from him. I boxed on the back foot. And then when it was time to sit in with my shots, obviously I was landing a power in there as well. And it got taken off of me. And then he went on to win the gold.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a blessing in disguise in terms of you going forward in your professional career. I'm sure, no doubt about it. Freddie, I want to ask you. Obviously, Kerim said he can fight at super flyweight and at bantamweight. There's a lot of great British prospects in both divisions. What's the plan with Kerim? When you look at to get him up, if you can?
I think we're going to start Kerim around obviously we're going to start super flyweight. The division's buzzing at the minute. So many domestic fights out there, and we'll be hopefully get him around the middle of the year. By the end of the year, I want to be looking sort of Southern area title level with Kerim, where there's such a small amount of people, but so much talent in that division. It's going to be fast tracked. What I'm excited about Kerim is the power he carries at the weight you're really going to see it when he makes his debut. So. Yeah, we can't wait for him to obviously debut and show how powerful he is. And how talented he is as well, great boxer. So it's just another very exciting addition to the super flyweight division. And obviously you got kids like Sonny Edwards, Casey Kadimi, Charlie Edwards as well. So he'll be looking at them fights in the next couple of years.
Oh, some cracking fights. I mean, obviously you mentioned Charlie, Sonny, Cal Yafai as well. He's in there. Jamie Cullen as well. There's Marcel Braithwaite. There's a lot of good British boxers in that weight class, and obviously, like you mentioned, obviously in a couple of years' time, he gets to mix in, and the British fans are going to be in for some cracking fights.
Yeah, definitely. Super flyweight division on our part, it seems like it's under wraps. We got Casey and Kerim, and I think they're the two most, in our opinion, talented fighters in that division. But yeah, Kerim's on his own path at the minute. Obviously, with the pandemic going on, we'll see what we can do. We're working really hard to get that debut ongoing, and obviously get his career on the roll. Yeah, by the end of the next year, we'll be looking for a Southern Area title for Kerim 100%. We'll obviously see how the pandemic's going, see what fights we can get, but I'm sure we can fast track him, which in this division, it seems like what most people have been doing. So, yeah, very looking forward to working with Kerim.
Yeah, I mean, now you just mentioned, obviously, fast tracking. Do you believe that there's going to be a lot of fighters might have to get fast tracked? Obviously, where the pandemic's kind of hit the sport massively, some people can't maybe wait 1 or 2 years to be fighting for maybe a Southern Area title. So do you believe that a lot of fighters are going to be maybe fast tracked into the bigger fights?
Where the pandemic's on is obviously a killer for small fighters and just carrying on their careers. So with the behind the closed door shows, you'd be looking at a lot of 50-50 fights. I suppose it's good for boxing, really good for boxing. See prospects go at it and just like put everything on the line. But I think this pandemic's shown a lot of, it's shown that a lot of boxers who actually want to be boxers and not the people who are just boxing for the sake of just being called a boxer. Like, I think it's shine a light on the kids that are in the gym constantly, just waiting for a call out from all the big promoters, Matchroom, Frank, MTK, just waiting for the call out for so they can get on them shows and showcase their skills. So I think in that sense, with the pandemic, you're seeing a lot of great 50-50 fights, and it's shining a light on the boxers who actually want to be boxers. Because this sport, we see a lot of people who just want the name, like to be known as a boxer, but not actually want to take the hard fights. Like a lot of talkers out there. Do you know what I mean?
100%. I mean, obviously, you do get a lot of people talking, and you do get a lot of people talking, and obviously, with this pandemic now, some people they kind of lose their passion to train every day and stuff like that. They just kind of give up on the sport. And I remember an interview from, I think it's Carl Frampton recently. He's saying that you're going to see a lot of boxers quit at the moment because of the gym being closed and the pandemic.
It's such a difficult time as well. It's such a difficult time for them, like fighters. But like I said, you just got to make the best out of the work, make the best out of the situation. You've got to keep training, keep eating right, and just show your hunger for the sport. And obviously, the people who are going to carry on doing that are the people who are going to prevail at the end of all this.
100%. Yeah, I always tell people to just stick at it. Obviously, if that's what you want to do, and that's your passion, and that's your future, you're going to stick at it no matter what. So obviously, I know Carl Frampton said just tell people just to stick at it and just keep training. This won't last forever, and then you'll get it when it comes around.
Yeah, wise words. 100%.
Kerim, I want to ask you, obviously, our sponsor has become your sponsor for your gloves and your kit, and that is Dirty South Boxing. How did that come around with Dirty South sponsoring you?
Well, the main man, Freddy, obviously, he swung them through to me, and I've had a word with them, and so basically they're now going to be the new sponsor for my fight gear, and since when I fight, so they're quite a good company, and I've looked at their stuff and it looks top dog as well. So obviously the best only work best. So I need to protect these babies. As you could tell, I've got quite big hands for my size as well. So I've got to keep them protected. And but that's not the only sponsor I've got as well. I've got 2 other sponsors, obviously, help in the background, which is Ideal Electrics and DC Sealing, and they're just like they help out with all the other stuff. Like I get all my heart monitor and all that, get all the other stuff sorted for me, my running gear, and it's just it helps me out. Obviously, the pandemic's now just destroying everyone's careers at the moment. It's a bit hard, so it's good to have these type of people behind me, and they'll be there all the way. It's worth the journey because I'm going to be collecting a few heads in my time as a boxer and a few belts.
There's one thing about Kerim, he can talk and fight, so we'll see.
It's a good attribute. Good attribute. Guys, I want to obviously just talk a bit about some fights that have happened, and obviously some fights that are hoping to be made this year. So obviously, recently we had Luke Campbell go over to America to fight Ryan Garcia in a great fight in America. Obviously, coming up just up short in the 7th round. What do you guys make of that fight? And do you see Ryan Garcia as being a real deal?
Luke Campbell, I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a better amateur than a professional, but amazing professional. But the sort of style is very, very amateurish. Like brilliant fighter, beats some top level guys. But it's just that it's just like as I can say, that next step. He's always that next step at world level. Obviously the elite level. He's always just fell a bit short, which is unfortunate because I really like Luke Campbell as a fighter. I thought he was doing well with the Garcia fight. I think he should have stepped on it as soon as he dropped him. I don't know why he stepped his foot off the gas a bit, but that's boxing sometimes. I think Garcia showed a lot of heart, and I was like the others with Ryan Garcia. I think he's a bit of a flat-footed fighter, like I said, but he probably shown he was a top-class fighter that night. And I'm looking forward to him in the big fights with Devin Haney, obviously Gervonta Davis. But if he's ready for them, I'm still a bit sceptical of. But beating Luke Campbell is a great win, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some great names in there. Obviously, Tank Davis, Devin Haney. Obviously, no one's mentioned Teofimo Lopez.
Lopez as well. Sorry, but yeah,
a lot of people.
Top dog.
That's the main man in the division, anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people not being really mentioned.
I don't think no one beats him.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think anyone. That's probably why
he's got too much. He's only a year older than me, and like to be honest, to be a year older than me and have all the belts, all of them. He's just a size as well. He's frame and everything. I don't know how he makes the weight. He's such a talented fighter, powerful. Even the Lomachenko fight as well, because there's like literally when he fought Lama looked every shot he landed to the body. Lomachenko just went. You could see it in his face. He thought, like I didn't expect you to have that much power at the weight, and with fighters, if you drain too much weight, the power gets zapped, and he must do it correct all the time because his power is immense for the weight. It's immense, and he looks like a different class, especially against Lomachenko, and like I don't think any of them have a chance really against him personally. Not even like Tank Davis is strong for the weight, but I don't think he'll have a chance against him.
Yeah, I think personally with Davis with the Santa Cruz fight, took a few shots, and I think there's a big difference in power between Santa Cruz and Lopez. Like it's taking them shots in the end of the day, and I think, in my opinion, I think Lomachenko beats them all besides Lopez. I think Lopez is just a bit too big. I think Lomachenko is a much more talented fighter than Lopez, but it's just that size difference. Lomachenko can't get over.
Yeah, I find that fight.
That Lopez does all the basic. Right.
Yeah, I mean that fight for me. You see the power. He came out and landed a few shots to the body, slowed him down, and you see Lomachenko fight on the back foot for the first 7 and 8 rounds, and then only towards the end he started stepping up. But by then the fight was really lost for me. Yeah,
100%. He lost that fight earlier on. He stepped on the gas around, I think it was round 9s and 10. Where he was catching Lopez with some good shots, but then again Lopez towards the end of the fight, the 12th round, like just come out. Lomachenko still just didn't know what to do. the bigger and better man won on the night. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, in that division, I think obviously Lopez is the main man.
100%. I agree. Obviously, there's Anthony Joshua fought last year against Pulev. Obviously, now there's a lot of talk about him fighting Tyson Fury. Obviously, I know Frank will be trying to find another door if possible that could happen. A lot of people being talked about. Obviously, a lot of people are saying that it could be on a different destination in terms of it's not like he's not going to be in the UK. It might be somewhere like Dubai or Saudi Arabia again. Can you see, realistically, you guys, can you see this fight happening this year?
It's just such a big fight to lose on the gate. Like with this pandemic going on, I'm not sure if crowds will be back until later this year. And if there's been talks of it happening in the summer around June times. There's something, but it's just if it's going to happen in the UK, the crowds need to be back. I think that's the only way it will happen in the UK if the crowds are let back in. If not, I do see it happening elsewhere. But it's got to happen. It's the biggest fight to be made. Probably one of the biggest fight there will ever be, especially on the heavy. It probably could be the biggest heavyweight fight up there with Ali and Foreman, Ali Fraser, Lewis, Tyson. We'll see what. But it's just got to happen. It's too big not to happen, and it should happen this year. I think.
I agree. I would love it to happen this year. Obviously, but I do agree that there needs to be fans there. If it's going to happen in the UK, that's a Wembley Stadium fight for me. That needs to have. It needs to be 100%, 90,000 fans or something, full capacity for that fight to happen. But it's a shame, obviously, if it is moved to a destination which ain't in the UK. I think it would be a shame for British fans who maybe can't go over and travel to those sort of places and watch the fight.
100%. I think it sells out any stadium in the world, that fight. It's the biggest fight to be made. But it's just an all UK clash. You want it to happen in the UK, and hopefully it does. I really want to see it in the UK.
100%. I mean, can you see, obviously, stumbling block just being the fact that we're in a pandemic, or can it be, obviously, with the belts? Obviously, Anthony Joshua's got to defend his WBA against Alexander Usyk as he's mandatory. And obviously, there's a lot of ongoing talk between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury regarding the third fight for the trilogy. There's a lot of talk there. Can you see those two being a stumbling blocks for that fight happening as well?
I think the Wilder Fury fight and the third fight's not a problem at the minute. I think that the only stepping stone's Usyk, and he's holding the hot cake at the minute, because if that Joshua and Fury fight, they're gonna have to pay him a lot of step aside money for it to happen, and he'll get it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's holding the golden ticket at the minute. Usyk. It all depends on his decision whether he wants to go for that title. I think it'll get vacated either way, but just you want it. There's the label as the undisputed heavyweight title. So if that WBO goes out of the mix, obviously it's going to be unified. But I don't think it matters. I don't even think there'll be no titles on the line. That fight is still massive. But if they're willing to pay Usyk step aside money,
Usyk should really fight Joyce. I think personally. Yeah, he should fight Joyce, because that's
if the title's vacated, isn't it?
World Series boxing.
Yeah, it's a big fight.
Yeah and no. I think personally they should all fight for every belt, because then there's going to be one champion at heavyweight, which I think is going to be Tyson Fury. I love AJ, but I don't think he'll be able to. He's too powerful, 19-stone man, punching that quick and that sharp. It takes a toll on your body. And especially with the way he fights, and he's so unpredictable, I think he'll be getting stopped early. I think inside 4 or 5 rounds. I think it'll be an eye-catching shot.
I think Fury stops Joshua, and I think Fury will beat Joshua before the fight even happens, during the lead-up. You've seen Joshua lose his head a few times. Watch the Fury versus Klitschko. Klitschko's got a much more stronger mindset than Anthony Joshua. and he just destroyed him. He was in the ring like just bamboozled, didn't know what to do or anything. I think he just wrecked his confidence. He's like, is this guy really serious? And where Joshua knows he's the real, like Joshua knows Fury's the real deal now. Like, I think he beats him before they even step into the ring.
Yeah, that's the thing with Fury. Fury's got that. For me, the press conference alone would be fantastic because you know what you're going to get from Tyson Fury. I remember that time when he came in wearing a Batman suit for the Klitschko fight, and obviously he got in Deontay Wilder's head before the second fight. We're talking about you got pillow fists. You dropped me, you couldn't finish me off. This time I'm going to knock you out. And when the fighter hears that, you're thinking, wow, you're right, because I couldn't stop you first time round, and you got up my best punch, and now we're here today. So that's the thing with Tyson Fury. He's got that gift of the gab, but he can back it up. So that press conference is going to be fire if it does happen.
Oh, 100%. And another thing, like AJ's unpredictable at press conference. He could come at this like cool, calm, collective, nice guy, and you say the wrong thing to him, he'll snap at you. So I think Fury will get really under his skin as well. So I think you'll see AJ snapping at some point during whatever press tour they do. But yeah, it's a massive fight. It's got to happen this year, I think. And hopefully it happens when the crowds are back. And
that's
like
why
you said, in the UK.
Stopped early is probably that.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to obviously ask you, obviously you've still got fight for this year, but about War and Boxing Management. So Freddy, what's the plans for this year, and what sort of fighters should we be looking out for from your stable?
Oh, we've been working really hard, all the team. Like I said, like Bobby, Sonny, Alfie, Sonny Donnelly, Richard. We've been working tremendously hard. Made a new signing in Kerim. Couple of our fighters getting promotional deals with Frank, signing Adam Mohammed as well, one of the top amateurs in the country. Trying to get reschedule Casey's fight for the European title. Masood Abdullah making his debut. James Ennigan, Simon Frank, and like all our other fighters, Cole Turney, Mikey Edges, Jack McGann, who we're looking for challenging them title fights after he in 2019 he beat a European champion and world title challenger in his fifth fight in over 8 rounds and absolutely outboxing him. It's just an unfortunate with this. Billy Underwood, who will be looking at some 50-50 light middleweight fights this year. We've got Lewis Isaacs as well. He's knocking on the door for titles. Our first ever woman signing, Louise Alton, ABA champion. She's going to be a really good addition to the women's boxing at the lightweight division. So, yeah, we're just...
From St. Mary's, sorry.
What's that?
Where's she from? St. Mary's in Kent, ain't she?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah, no, I know you're on about then. Yeah, she's class. I've seen her boxing.
Yeah, Louise, yeah. Yeah, we should have a couple more signings. Ashley Hills is one fun guy. I had a little thing with Idris Virgo the other day, a little Instagram spat. Yeah. He honestly, that kid will literally fight anyone. He'll fight anyone. He's 2-0. He hits so hard as well, and that's what I said to that Idris. I went ask Kevin McCauley, who's a better fighter out of Ashley and him. They both thought the same. Even Kevin McCauley, Ashley fought him in his debut, and Kevin McCauley went, he hit so hard, like I nearly stopped Kevin. And we know how tough Kevin is. So we got all these fighters. Hopefully, obviously Adan, James, Masood, Casey, which is unfortunate. He was supposed to fight for the IBF European. We're going to look to reschedule that fight. It got pulled off for COVID. So Casey, get him another world ranking. Reschedule a fight of Ayaz Ahmed, which is going to be a tough fight. He cannot look over Ayaz Ahmed. He doesn't stop coming forward. Caused Harvey Horn a lot of problems in the European title fight a couple of years ago as well. So yeah, hopefully we get a word from Frank when them guys will be on, and we've been working really hard in the background tying deals down. So hopefully all the unsigned small fighters will be at very, very soon. So we should have some big announcements coming in the next couple of weeks for them guys, and Kerim as well. So yeah, really, really looking forward to starting this year off, and really looking forward to announce what we've been working on in the last couple of months, because there is going to be some big news, especially for the fighters.
Sounds like very exciting times. Very exciting times.
Very.
Oh, question I wanted to ask you is: will some of these fights be televised? When they make some of these fighters get out?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we'll make a couple of announcements in the next few weeks about what's going on with our fighters. There's some exciting matches to be made, like with our guys as well. There's like I said, there's a couple of guys knocking on for titles. A couple of guys are looking for 50-50 fights. So hopefully we get them fights made. And like I said, I can't really say too much at the minute, but there'll be a good couple of announcements coming up in the next few weeks for our team.
Brilliant to hear. And Kerim, before I let you go, what's your goals for this year and for your future going forward?
The goals for this year is just getting active, get the first pro win under my belt, do it in style, do it with another big knockout. Hopefully another one punch. If not, then I know it's going to be a knockout further down in a few rounds. But other than that, then just move on and become as many fights I have this year, or what happens this year. As long as I have the one fight or two fights here, they're going to be big wins, and a lot of super flyweights will be looking out for me, because if they don't look out for me and underestimate me, then it's a good night for them as well. And then in a few years, I'm looking at being a multiple weight world champion. So beating the likes of Roman Gonzalez and all that. I know they're big names, but they're only human. They bleed like me. They've got 2 arms and 2 legs just like me. And I don't fear no man, and that's the wrong thing. They're going to come in thinking that I'm going to fear anyone. You don't scare me. Like, they're just basically... It's just exciting times, and I don't want to speak too much, but yeah, we'll see, and everyone's going to see from the pro debut how it's going to go.
Absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to it
as well. I think super flyweights will be put on notice when he debuts. They're very, very hot prospects entered their division, so we're really looking forward to it. And
so we had the Pound for Pound boxing show, guys. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining me today, and looking forward to a great 2021, hopefully, and seeing you guys get to work. Thanks for coming on today, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much, Jermaine. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, guys. Take care now.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.